You guys see that doorbell ring and I'm sitting on my couch and I get up to go meet her. That is the first time I met her. I didn't know her name until a minute before that. Her name is Seema. I was like, okay. They're like, call her Seema, auntie. I was like, okay. And then the doorbell rang. I remember when I first met her, we were sitting down and she's like, well, what do you want in a boy? And the viewers don't see this, but I actually only said two things. I said, I want someone really like laid back and quiet, an introvert. And she looked at me blankly and she was like, no. And so I'm thinking there's like a language issue. And so I keep trying to tell her like what I want. And so that's what the viewer sees, like me saying like, I don't want the funny guy, and me trying to say it a different way. I don't like comedy, and me saying it a different way and a different way, just thinking like if I say it enough ways, Seema auntie will understand. But it wasn't about that. It's that Seema had her own ideas and she wanted me with someone jolly. They're like, oh, this is going to be a docu-series. It's about Indian matchmaking and we're going to highlight the best parts of our culture. We're going to set you up with a matchmaker. She's going to help you find your husband. I thought, wonderful. Sounds good. Like, I would love to show people, my culture in the world. I think that's a beautiful experience. I'd love to be a part of it. Not knowing that later this would turn into a reality show. We all have to think about the way that we consume television. I mean, this was created for us. This was not as entertainment, and people think it's true. And I'm like, it's not true. Like it's sound bites, it's edited. It has everything to do with the archetype that they created. And they created that archetype for a very specific reason, to get the viewers to understand something that they want them to understand. It's clever, it's crafty. Everyone's like, oh, your dates were all so terrible. I'm like, really? Because I'm best friends with Shaker. I talk to him every day for an hour. I'm going to go to Chicago in 2 weeks and I'm seeing him there. My dates were sometimes 10 hours long. Some of them you don't even see. There's like 3 or 4 dates of mine you don't even see. And then some of them are literally 10 seconds. They weren't the one for me. They're not going to be my husband, but they're good people. And they believe I'm a good person. And when people like said mean things about me in the beginning, they would try to stick up for me and I would tell them, stop it. Like, don't do that. It doesn't matter what they say. First episode where my mom is really upset and I'm talking about my first date, and my mom calls him a loser. Everyone thinks it's because he had like a podcast and we cared about that. And I was like, I don't care about that. What happened off camera was that he was really hurtful. Like he was really hurtful to me and he was very demeaning and he said some really disrespectful things. And I was telling Seema that, I told the producers that, I told my mother that. My mother got so hurt. She goes, someone treated you like that? She was mad. Like, I was crying that night. She was like, I don't want to see you like this. Like, the show is not worth it. Like, you can quit the show. And I almost did quit the show that day. And they don't show you any of that. And that was hurtful to see. That was very shocking, really, because I think it's actually a disservice to the viewer. A lot of these women are like, I love how you stood up for yourself. And I'm like, well, wait, the honest truth is that I got trampled and I was crying and that I was hurt. And that's a part of the journey. I think that a lot of the women that are applauding me, I wish that they could see that too, because I don't want them to think that the show's reality is true, that like I'm invincible. I'm not invincible. I was crying. I didn't know that people could take the story and just twist it like that. That all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, you're so mean. You didn't like that boy's career choice. And I'm like, no, I didn't like that man treated me badly and made me cry. Like, but they don't know that. And they probably will never know that. And they don't care. Really, right? That's the point. They don't care. And so it's interesting because you lose your own voice in your own story because someone else on a global scale edited it to make you lose your voice.